Welcome back. In today's video, we are going to be revisiting this tree. Now, I had actually forgotten that I have done at least 3 other videos on this specific tree, but it's now been, I think, 3 years since the last time I revisited it. So it's changed quite a bit, and I'm really excited about the progress that I've made in terms of the overall development of this tree. And in case you hadn't noticed, it's gotten quite a bit bigger. In fact, the trunk is big enough that I can't even grip the whole thing around it. And it's also got some kind of nice sort of muscling going on, which is kind of makes the tree feel a lot more mature than where it was the last time that we took a look. It's winter time, and the intention of most of the work that I'm going to do right now on this tree is in the root zone. But you may notice that some of the plans that I mentioned in the previous video have actually worked out reasonably well. So let me just describe sort of what's been going on while this has not been shared with you. It's in this Anderson flat, the same one that it was in the last time I repotted it, but I stacked it on top of another Anderson flat to give it some more soil to work with. It escape rooted through both of those as I had it sitting on top of landscape fabric out at the growing grounds, and put on a lot of really good growth. In fact, one of my students came out and he said, you probably need to start charging that tree rent because it's taking up so much space in your operation. And I thought to myself, well, yeah, but sometimes that's a good thing. So the sacrifice branch that I have down here on the lowest part of the trunk is doing a really good job of increasing the kind of character and the taper. So you see there's definitely a visible change in taper from here to this section now. And the same thing is true for this second sacrifice branch that I put lower on the trunk, because you can see that the trunk is getting significantly smaller from here to here. Now from here on upward, it's not quite as good taper-wise, and there was a sacrifice branch that I removed up here. That scar has healed over about 3/4 of the way and is looking pretty good. Then there was also the branch that I cut off here that was one of the air layers, and that has healed over really nicely. So meanwhile, this third sacrifice branch that's up here, obviously I've cut all of these back, but I have left, 12 to 18 inches of the branch intact. And the ultimate top of the tree, I think, is going to be coming off of this, which started off as a little bud, but now is going to both be a sacrifice branch as well as the next section of trunk. So ultimately, this is going to come off, but I'm going to make that decision when I do that, probably either in the spring or as I continue to grow it out. The plan here is actually still long-term, and that's because what I want to accomplish right now is the same thing that I was working to accomplish in the first video that I shared of this tree. That is that because it is escape rooted and had a lot of room to grow, and it's got large sacrifice branches on it, it also has large roots that have been developing. So I want to get in here and I want to reduce the vigor of some of the largest roots while just sort of analyzing the root structure overall. I will say one of my least favorite things that's going on here is that after the last root trim, I actually had a little bit of dieback at the base here, and that basically caused this sort of indentation. The tree is largely healed over that section, but it's changed the overall shape of the nebari. So I had a problem going into the last repot already, and you can see that I've exposed a little bit more of the nebari. I think that I'm actually going to have to put root grafts onto some of these things in order to get this to resolve the way that I want it to, but I'll take a look at that once I have it out of the container and some of this soil removed. with the kind of rough root work done around the outside, I'm starting to get into the particular places where I think I need to do the most work on this root ball. And in the process of doing that, I'm finding some roots that are crossing, like this one right here. And I haven't cut that one off yet because it looks like it's going to be too big to reorient, but I'll get back to it in a little while. Meanwhile, this really large root right here obviously has been helping to heal the wound that I pointed out here earlier, but I don't want it to just continue making this large plunging root because I think that's going to make this bulge bigger. So I'm going to cut this one back pretty hard, and I also think I'm going to try to put a root graft right in here somewhere. There's a root coming out from underneath, but I can't tell whether or not it's coming from somewhere else or just attached here. Basically, I have a lot more work to do in terms of looking at the exact root structure here and making sure that the roots that I'm promoting are the ones that I want the tree to continue utilizing. With a lot of the soil out of here now, I'm going to go ahead and rinse this off so I get a better view of what the roots look like. So now looking at the underside, I did a little bit of just basic cleanup of the small roots that were crisscrossing because this is where the piece of plywood was. You can see that some of those roots have gotten bigger and gone kind of off on their own direction. So I'm going to go ahead and trim these bigger roots so that I can get in here and remove some more of this soil. Basically, what I'm trying to do here is to kind of shorten and weaken all of these large roots that were going straight down from underneath the center of the trunk while getting the tree to concentrate on running from these small roots that are out here that will help build the nebari the way that I want it to look. So I've cut these way back, and I actually cut back far enough that I found a previous cut point on these guys. But I'm not quite done. I'm going to go through here and do a little bit more cutting because I want to kind of flatten this out. And if you look at it from the side here, there's actually kind of a, concave shape to this. So the roots that are on the outside are a little bit longer and lower than the ones that are on in this center portion. Now I'm also going to cut back a few more of these really large roots, but not too much further than what I've done already. All right, with the root trimming basically done, I've put a little bit of soil in the bottom of this flat, and in this case I'm using about 70% mixture of akadama with 30% lava, and that's because maples tend to do really well in akadama, and I want a lot of root division in this container. I'm still going to set this on the ground and let the roots escape into the ground after it sort of populated this, but I want to make sure that in the container itself I'm getting finer root division rather than just large roots running. It's going to happen anyway, but it'll give me a little bit more root division, I think. So I am going to now top guy this so it doesn't move. I nestled it down onto a pile of soil so that all of that space that I created underneath here gets filled up with soil particles, and kind of wiggle it around to make sure that all those soil particles get in, because there's no way I can chop underneath the tree. Now with the tree stabilized, I can move on to the root grafts that I want to do. This container has 5 rooted cuttings that came from this tree. Now, if you need to use seedlings that didn't come from the exact tree that you are trying to graft onto, usually the regular green seedlings like this tree are reasonably consistent in terms of bark, and that's all you really care about with these root grafts. So I don't think that you absolutely have to use cuttings that came from the tree, but obviously it's not a bad idea. So I'm just going to plow a little channel through the bark here, which is not too thick on regular Japanese maples, and then pin this in place. So if we look closely in here, you can see that there's one of the old cuts is right here, and then I think the other cut was right here. So most of the deadwood has healed over, but there's still a little channel of it right through here. And I kind of want to try to put a graft right here so that I can get some more roots up higher that I can train down through this section that'll eventually fuse and help even out the nebari on this section. I honestly don't have any idea whether that will actually work, but I don't think that there's really any harm in at least giving it a shot. All right, and now with those both secured into place, I'm just going to put some wound sealant around the top of them. I'm going to leave the bottom open so that any water that happens to get in there can drain out. So I've added a small amount of soil and chopped it in between the roots where I removed soil. But from here on out, I don't really need to do a lot of chopping. So I'm going to just fill this up. All right, and with that, I am done for now, and probably for the next 2 to 3 years. Well, other than perhaps separating or cutting off the tops of these approach grafts. This is actually the first time that I've done root grafts on a Japanese maple, so I'll have to wait and see how it turns out. But these guys were trying to fuse with each other in the gallon pot, so I just don't really see an issue, and I would expect that they'll take pretty easily. A couple other notes here. I mixed in a little bit more lava on this top section. I want to fill, you've noticed that I covered almost all of the nebari that I was working on, and that's because I don't want to lose the fine roots, and if any more fine roots are going to issue at the top, I want the option of keeping those and utilizing them in various places. So it's actually, the tree is actually a little bit deeper in the flat than it was when I started, at least I think. But I did want to leave the actual junctions of these grafts above the soil line so they don't stay too soggy. That wraps up this maple repotting and grafting session. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.